Hello, my name is John.
And I'm Nikki, and we are the bosses next door.
Today, we're going to be talking about if your partner resents your success, they are not your person.
Fair.
Is it?
I think it is, because you have to be able to really work with someone and be okay with who you are in order to support their success.
Did we start out that way?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I don't know. Do you have a specific instance you want to elaborate on? Or
First 3 years?
Oh, well, it was just really tough then.
Yeah.
I think where we are now, we absolutely celebrate each other's successes and wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go with that. Yeah, I think that your partner doesn't have to be involved in the business, and I think that has to be pretty clear because what we do is not normal. It's not normal for two people being married or a relationship to own a company or companies. And because we live together, we work together, we raise kids together, like we do everything together. That's not normal. I think that's pretty fair.
Right.
When you see other spouses, man or the wife or whatever, they're, typically one is in the business. The other one dips their toe in. They're buying snacks for the people, or they're checking in, or they're doing whatever, which is totally fine because that's the structure that they have it set up. That's just not the structure that we had. It wasn't, I just thought that's how it was supposed to, like that was how it was going to be. It took some convincing, I think, for Nikki in the beginning because it's not easy. Owning a business is not easy. And we're on our third one, and it's not easy. I get reminded all the time about the heavy lifting in the beginning that we had to do. And now we have this great foundation of Little John's. And then we started Call Boss and getting the lift on that. And then we've gotten that to 7 figures, but still the lift on it is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And then now we start, we took over this company, or not took over, partnered with this company called Capture, which is a CRM system. And now, even though it's been up and running, the lift we have to do with it is, I'm just reminded like the amount of work that's put in it.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're not very clear with your partner, if you're working with your partner, if you guys aren't very clear on the direction you're heading, I think you set yourself up for success. And there is some kind of resentment, or can be. Also, if you have a partner that's not involved in the business, you have to be mindful of what they care about and don't care about. And I don't think I paid attention to that, especially in the beginning. Now we work together, but in the very beginning, I was dragging Nikki's ass to let's go, because we were doing everything we could not to fail. Fair?
Yeah.
And so I didn't take an account of how she felt, what's her dreams, those kind of things. And I think that could have created a ton of resentment. I don't think we've ever had a lot of resentment towards each other in the business. I think if there's any type of clash, it's because either we didn't communicate well with each other, or there was something that happened that we just needed to get kind of cleared up on the same page. But nothing like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Nikki's doing this, or oh my gosh, John is doing this. Is that fair?
Yeah.
We see all too often that people will come up to us and ask well, how do you guys do it? Once they realize how involved we are in the companies, they'll ask. But I think you have to be careful because not everybody can do that.
Right.
And you can't. Yeah. It's like Nikki used to tell people oh man, you should start your own business. I just had this conversation with Kirk Slack. You should start your own business. But the reality is that the idea of starting your own business is great. The reality of starting your business is not so awesome, right?
Right.
Once you're going through it. And it's hard, and it's not having a consistent paycheck necessarily. And then you're asking your spouse to hey, let's jump on this crazy ride. Fair?
Yeah, definitely.
So do you find that there's resentment, or that you've seen resentment, or do you feel there's resentment?
I mean, I definitely think in the beginning at times there were.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that stemmed because we didn't really understand what the other person was doing, right? So you may be busy doing things outside in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I'm inside trying to keep paperwork together and vendors happy and, employees happy and all this. And I would be you're outside. I didn't have a true understanding of what you were doing. I knew what you're doing, but I didn't know how your day was spent fully with your time.
Yeah.
And so if you don't know what that time looks like for somebody else, it's easy to be dude, I don't know what the heck they're doing over there, but I am stressed out and struggling over here.
Fair.
Right? And so I think as we grew and got better and delegated and had people in place to do different things, then you start to see, oh, there is time for A, there is time for B, there's time for C. You were really busy out there. I just never wrapped my head around how much was going on.
Yeah.
Because my world was so busy.
How long did it take you to recognize that?
Well, in the beginning with Little John's, I would say a few years.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it was until we started going to therapy and learning how to communicate that it was like, now I see what it was that was setting me off, right?
Okay.
You know, I'm like, the phone's ringing, you're telling me to check the box for checks, credit cards are being processed, like all these things. And you're like, but did you check for checks? Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh my gosh, there was so much, but you're working. And then when you had a second to breathe, that's when you're asking me if I check for checks.
Yeah.
Not just hounding me, right?
Yeah.
And so I just think, in the beginning there was more of that. Now it's not a thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's super interesting. I don't think I ever felt resentment in the beginning. I think it was more of like, but why don't you understand? Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm killing myself right now. And like, but why don't you check the mailbox? We used to check the mailbox because we didn't make sure we made payroll.
We had lots of checks coming at that time.
Never missed a payroll in 13 years, which is, thank God.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you never know.
You never know.
Just in case.
Never missed a payroll. And we've had some tight ones. Like, I think we've had it where the checks came in on Friday and Nikki was running to the bank. So we had enough money for payroll.
Will that be available by tonight?
Yeah. Here we go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, it was like, I knew how hard it was because I did both. Now, I didn't do the extent that you did because I was out in the field working and I was talking to customers and don't ever put your cell phone number as your business line. I know we mentioned this in several podcasts, but I knew that like it was hard and I was thankful for the help. I think that maybe the struggle that I had is that it was tough to get you kind of on board in the beginning. And so I felt like I was fighting two battles at once, right? I'm trying to get the business going and I'm trying to like sweet talk convince my wife to keep going. Like we can't afford anybody else and I can't not have you here.
And you aren't the easiest to work with. So
no.
There was a whole lot going on then.
Yeah, I think it's like, when you have nothing, and that's, just put that in perspective, when you have nothing and you have nothing to fall back on, like failure is not an option. And I would agree with you. I probably was not easy. I'm not easy to work with sometimes anyways, but like not because I think I'm an ass, but just I think I'm very like, I know what I want.
Yeah. I wouldn't even say demanding. They're demanding qualities at times, but you're not mean about things. You know what you want and how quick you want it done.
Yeah.
And what it should look like when it's done.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I get a little, but it's just because it's taken years to kind of, I think, get better at that. Maybe I was going to say perfect that. It's not perfect it. It's trying to, how do I talk to somebody and get it across a point that they're like, oh, okay, I understand that. I can do that, or can't do that, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think for me in the beginning, I think it was like there was no option for you not to be there. And I know that's like, in hindsight, it's probably not fair.
Well, my leverage wasn't fair either. Like, I just won't do it, and then we won't get any checks. You know what I mean? Like, that wasn't fair either. But that was the level of frustration at the time, right? Oh, yeah. I just did not want to do this.
It was probably a daily fight there for a while.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Fair enough? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was not pretty in the Cosmic household. But it wasn't that we hated each other, and it wasn't that it just was like, I guess we weren't on the same page.
No, we weren't speaking the same language.
No.
Like, we knew there was a light at the end of the tunnel, but the tunnels were not going the same way. Yeah. It was very different.
Yeah.
But we also need to talk about, like, it's not just your spouse partner that could resent your success and not be your person. It could be your actual business partner, or if you're working in teams, does that team have your back? Like, it can look different. And now we have business partners, so it's a different dynamic. I think we all really work well together, the four of us, for our software company.
Yeah.
I think we all work really well together. Karthik is crazy smart and see things one way. Mike is also very intelligent and sees it from a different perspective. And then you mesh us into the mix, and we are their person because we all have the same goal and we want to make sure that everything happens the way it should.
Yeah.
And so we're fortunate that we found this team.
I think you're right. I think I think I went off a gut is how we ended up buying this company.
It was all you to start, so.
Yeah. Well, it was gut. Well, you got the blessing. You blessed it, right? And we talked about it. And then she was like, just make the phone. Like, I was like, I think I'm going to make a phone call. And she's like, just make it. And who knew that was going to turn out the way it did?
Yeah.
Now, this is 2 or 3 years in the making, right? Essentially. But, yeah, I think what's really interesting about the business parts, because everybody sees the value of each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's been really awesome. I think there's been some tense moments for sure. And I think everybody has this level of respect for each other. Right now, I believe Nikki and I are kind of the sounding board. Like everything kind of comes like, because there's some really like some changes that we're making to it that are awesome. And then I think when we release it here really soon, that I think people are going to be very, very happy with it.
I think so too.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, that sounding board so far has been really well. There's been a lot of crazy business stories from business partners that just don't see the eye. Maybe one of them hides himself in a shop. The other one's in the office. They, like you just said, like nobody's communicating, knows what the other one's doing. And one is maybe legitimately hiding for whatever reason because they don't want to deal with reality. Or, one has a bigger ego than the other one. Or the spending maybe get out of checks and balances.
Right.
And you're like, well, why didn't you do this? Or why didn't you do that? Or whatever.
I can think of companies where we've worked with them or we know people, because a lot of people own companies and use CallBoss. I know there are certain instances where that's been the case. Yeah. One partner is in doing whatever every day. One partner doesn't come into the office and only shows up a couple times a week. What's going on? Like there's always that question. Yeah. But back to Capture really quick and our software, success on this team is different. And I really feel like I'm a valuable part of this team.
Absolutely.
And I normally don't speak up a lot in different areas, but I feel like when I'm giving suggestions with this team, everybody is very receptive and like, yeah, we can fix it, make it work. That's a great idea. Like at Little John's, it was just me and you in the beginning. Yeah. So we weren't like, it's a great idea. We were like, just get it done, know? Then we branched into CallBoss. A lot of great ideas, a lot of great team. This team at Capture is a different level because it's a different
dynamic.
Right, and a different environment because it is software. It's very different from what we're doing at CallBoss. And so it's more of a build out, right? It's more of creating, but not in a fun, creative way. It's a very analytical, how do we make this work? And I think it's just been really nice for me on this team to be a valued partner.
I think it's very interesting. Yes, I mean, you're valued to all of them, but I get what you're saying. Right now, like the input that's coming through is like a lot of Nikki's input from the service side, the CSR side, or the office side of like how things flow. How do you reduce the amount of screens into multiple down to potentially 1 or 2? How do you get things to like just flow really easy, not just for the end user, but also for like our CSRs at CallBoss, because we're integrated with it. So like there's all these things that are happening right now, and it is pretty interesting because what I find is really interesting. We have Zoom meetings at 5:15 on Monday mornings,
a.m.
And there's 21 employees over there. And what's really interesting is we have our check-in, we talk about whatever's going through, what are updates on the software, or whatever that is, and they record it all. Karthik, the software engineer, he like it seems like he'll go back and forth through that recording and just keep making sure like, okay, did I cover this? Okay, I got this. Did I cover this? I got this. So there's not a lot of questions coming back and forth. He'll go and like just like he's super proactive of like digging in from what our previous conversations were and building out. It's a very interesting. And then that team, half that team's overseas, or the team is overseas. And so like 5:15 in the mornings and like 7 or 8 at night, right? They'll hop back on and you can hear him like he'll be, oh, let me get that fixed. And he'll be on the phone or messaging team members. So the whole team over there is extremely excited to see like, let's get this bus moving.
Sure. Yeah.
Is that fair? Mm-hmm. And that part has been really like exciting. It's a lot. It's a heavier lift, I think, than I've been. Like Call Bosses, we have our sailing season that's coming. Little John's were already like weirdly have already hit some kind of a weird little season early in January. But Call Boss is Capture is very interesting because it's selling something that you're going to run your business off of, right?
Right.
And so there's a lot of trust and everything else.
Yeah.
But I love how the team is very open. Like I can call those guys all the time, and like I do.
Yeah.
And just trying to figure it out. Mm-hmm. So, but with Nikki, her insight over there is pretty amazing because she's seen it, right? She's the backbone of how Little John's, like how we started Little John's and how we got it off the ground, and then how, we built Call Boss off of Little John's. And that's how that kicked off. And now literally Capture it's already built, but the way to make it smooth for an experience for the customer, like for a business and our CSRs, it comes from Little John's.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
And all the templates that we're putting into the system will be based off of what we've done.
Yeah.
It's going to be super cool when it's ready.
Master plan.
I know. It's going to be so good.
But there's no resentment over there, right? And so like nowhere, like I think you have to be really careful. And like we've had experiences where there's couples that we know that one of them is not involved and they've gotten divorced. Or they've been in like huge marriage crisis, I guess maybe, because like you said, right? They're at that particular one's at home or they're taking care of the kids and they don't understand why the husband-wife is not home.
Well, and it's balancing time too, right? How do you balance time between the businesses, the family, achieving the goals?
Yeah.
Like what are the goals for the business or the business? What does that goal look like and how are we going to get there? And if not everybody's on the same page, then there can be resentment. If somebody doesn't feel like their ideas are being heard, right?
Yeah.
Then they can have resentment.
And I think they have to be very careful about balance too, because I think there's seasons that there's no balance. I think there's seasons when it's like, no, we just have to go.
All gas, no brakes.
All gas, no brakes. And I feel like we're a little bit on that right now, but I feel like when we hit February, it's going to be full tilt.
Yeah.
And it has to be. So I just know that season's coming and it's going to be crazy, crazy busy for several months. And like, you just have to do it. Fair?
Right. I mean, we're in it right now. It's all the planning. It's January. So it's like, okay, it's almost time for the all company meeting at both companies. And then we'll move into like what our sales strategy is going to be for the year. Are we doing any specials? Things like that. Like all of that is due like now.
Yeah.
So that it can be mapped out for the season. And so we got to just find the time and make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very interesting. It's a very interesting place that we find ourselves in. I think that, I do worry about our employees. Like, oh, do they think I'm working hard or they think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing? But then there's part of me is like, yeah, they have to know that.
They can turn it off when they go home and then it's 8:00 and you're still talking about how are we going to fix that for tomorrow? What's that going to look like in a week? How are we going to get there? Right?
Yeah.
They don't have to do that.
Yeah. Or I get my 10,000 steps pacing back and forth in the yard.
Yeah.
At the office. Yeah.
So another thing to mention though too is you don't want to block your blessing by being a hater to others.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? And sometimes we see that like in the beginning as things got great and we were like, hey, this is actually working or we're doing well here. And you share that with someone who may or may not be in the business and they can't see it or understand it or don't feel the same about it. You don't want to be that hater. You want to be able to celebrate everybody's wins.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Because I think that if you're referring to Little John's, in the very beginning, I would stop every landscaper, we do all the things. Well, as we grew, I try to become friends with those guys because I think it was really important to have a network of people.
Sure.
And as we grew, people stopped talking to us because they were upset. And they would say stuff like we had a guy say stuff to one of our customers. Like they came over and did a service that we don't offer and we referred them. And then, oh man, they don't know what they're doing. I really know what we're doing. And that customer loved us and was like, hey, do you know what?
Heads up, somebody just said.
Yeah, and I was
which is kind of cool. Thanks, customer, for having our back.
Absolutely. So, but it's just, it's sad because like they had a lot of resentment. We've had several that have a lot of resentment, and it's like you just have to be okay with it. Right? It used to really bother me. Like, damn, man, like this guy doesn't answer my calls anymore, or this one. And it's like, no, this one guy, Rick, who started off, like I stopped, and he was one of the first guys I talked to, and he showed me how to sharpen hedge trimmers. He showed me how he dealt with his crews, how he like would do his maintenance. Like he showed me all these things. And now like he wants to come in and see us on a level 10. Like he started using the software that we use. We've been out to dinner with him several times.
Yeah.
Like really trying to help them along. It's just to take it to the next level is really, really hard. It's really hard to get to his level, but it's like really, really hard, I feel, when you have to manage.
But that's hard also because his partner, right, has a full-time job and is also trying to run their whole office.
That's right.
That's super stressful,
yeah.
Right? It's just a lot. And so for them to be at that stage of the game where we're helping like now, like with software, this is how you do this, like we're in the same software, so it's easy to help and assist. But there also has to be that time, right, that they're able to really devote to it and get in it and keep it moving.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
It is hard. It's easier just to go back to what you're comfortable with, even though it's uncomfortable. And I do find that's what a lot of people do. So
it would have been very different if I had a full-time job and was also trying to do Little John's at that stage. Like that would have been hard.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I think if you did that, we would be a different direction maybe, because we'd have to bring people in to help like right away, right? Like I give big shouts to Chester. Chester like was doing cranes, and he had started a landscape company. He had to get somebody right away to help run it, and then they grew, and then he ended up not having to go to be a crane operator anymore, and that company really took off. He had to trust that the people around were going to do the job, right? Yeah. And I think the other thing is everybody's like, oh man, we had that young kid come and look and we're selling off a bunch of our old blowers and stuff. He's like, oh, are you Little John? I'm like, yeah. I see your trucks everywhere, and it makes you feel good, right? And like, he just asked some questions, and it was great. It was awesome. And I wish, or I want to figure out how to do something to give back to like the people around us, because I think it helps us build like a good reputation with the other landscapers, and it takes that some of that resentment, because you get some of these guys like, man, these dudes are everywhere, right? Yeah,
or they're so big. I mean, we're big-ish.
We're big-ish. We're big we're small in a big pond.
There you go.
Yeah. I think we put that all in perspective. Like we have a spray tech. Like I have a good relationship with certain people. Like we lost a spray tech. I called somebody yesterday. Hey, I know you have 2 spray techs. Are they busy? And they're like, actually, I have one potentially available. They've came over today. They're spraying on our trucks. They're going to work with us for potentially the next couple of months. It helps them out. Like, so having those relationships are really, really valuable.
Yeah.
And there's no really resentment between us and them, because we've helped them. We've sent guys over their way too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good working relationship, and it's 2 completely different landscape companies, ours and theirs, and we just work well together for things that we need when we need it.
Yeah, we do a pretty good job with those guys.
Right.
Which is awesome.
Even when we were small, like they were spraying for us, remember? Absolutely. It was like, hey, can you sub out all this work, because we needed the help, and they had the availability. Yeah. And now it's flip-flopped. Like, it's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool. Yeah, they were short on guys, and we sent extra guys we had over to help to drive and help. That was last year. Yeah. It really helped them out. It was good. It makes you feel good, that you're able to take it on and do it.
Yeah. So we're going to leave you guys with this note. A supportive partner is a form of privilege. And that's a big one, because if you don't have somebody supporting you, be it that business partner, that spouse, that team that you're working with,
shoot, your mom or dad, man.
Anybody who's supporting you, that is a privilege to have somebody in your corner unconditionally backing you to make sure that you're successful. Yeah. Don't take it for granted.
Absolutely. And like always, my mom and dad were like big cheerleaders. Yeah. Because they had their own businesses. They understand how hard it is, right? And they were like blown away that Nikki was like, wow, she's like right by your side. I'm like, yeah.
Took a minute.
Not knowing she didn't have a choice.
Yeah. But it was good.
It was good.
So keep that in mind and make sure whoever you've got on your team is fully in.
Yeah. And if they're not, ask why, or ask what their dreams are. That's a big one. Like ask what is your dreams, right? And if you ask the dreams, like might be surprised what you hear. It might not be what you think.
Right. And if they can't celebrate your wins, then they're not your person.
No.
So weigh it out.
Therapy it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Yep. I'll see you on the next one.
See you then.
Thanks.